President Moon Jae-in greeted the President of Sri Lanka this morning at the Blue House, where the two leaders held a summit meeting. In their discussions, they pledged to strengthen their country's bilateral relationship. Our Blue House correspondent Hwang Hojun has this report.
The Blue House rolled out the red carpet for its third state guest. President Moon Jae-in welcomed his Sri Lankan counterpart to the presidential office Wednesday morning, where they reaffirmed 40 years of friendly ties between their two countries. President Moon commended President Maithripala Sirisena's pursuit of the unification of the Sri Lankan people after the country's civil war and underscored that they both share a similar governmental philosophy and a vision of putting people first. And President Moon proposed close cooperation between Seoul and Colombo.
스리랑카는 식민 지배와 내전, 권위주의적 정치 등의 상처를 이겨내고 민주주의 발전 및 경제 개발을 추진하고 있어서 우리와 서로 경험을 공유하면서 인프라 구축과 개발 협력 등 분야에서 협력할 여지가 많다고 생각합니다.
President Sirisena in return expressed his gratitude for the invitation and warm welcome. He pledged to fully support South Korea in the international arena and to fully carry out the UN Security Council's sanctions against North Korea. President Sirisena strongly condemned the regime's missile test on the morning of the summit. The upgraded partnership the presidents agreed to will include an increase in Seoul's financial support for Sri Lanka to aid in its sustainable economic growth. That will be in the form of an increase in South Korea's contributions to the Economic Development Cooperation Fund from the current $300 million to $500 million over the 3 years through 2019. They also agreed to increase people-to-people and cultural exchanges as well as defense cooperation. Those pledges were reflected in the signing of key agreements and MOUs. In the evening, a state dinner in honor of the visiting president will be hosted by President Moon and First Lady Kim Jong-suk. President Moon emphasized that the visit of his Sri Lankan counterpart will establish the foundation for his new southern policy, which will broaden Seoul's diplomatic horizon beyond Northeast Asia to Southwest Asia. Hwang Hojun, Arirang News.